Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly update. Welcome to new tanks finally coming in. We've got finally the larger tanks and tanks that we have not had in stock for quite some time back in stock. You'll see right here these two 180s drilled. We've got those. I've got 90 drills finally have come in. The only thing I have not gotten yet are 210s. I've got more 110s. And I've got tanks after tanks after tanks. So right now, at least while availability is good, now is the time to start thinking about that Christmas tank and getting things on layaway and maybe starting to think if you have been planning on upgrading at any point in time, now would be a really good time to do that. I wanted to show this 84 since we got a stand and canopy that are what we call our shaker in white. This is only a 3-foot tank, but it's got a really high profile and looks absolutely gorgeous on this stand and canopy. Doesn't take up a lot of space, but it's still a fairly big tank. So if you want something that's a little cool, a little different, you don't have a lot of space but want a lot of tank, this 84, which is new from Sephora, is the only one, is really cool. Okay, so if you're looking for a really good buy, I've got one for you. This is a 36 bow that just came in. It's tank and stand for $209.99. I usually don't talk prices and stuff over this video and things like that, but this one is exceptionally good. If you're looking for an introductory tank or looking for a species tank, something to set up somewhere in the house, this is great. It also makes a great present. It's not a lot of money for a good bit of tank, and you get the stand too. Last but not least, the 32 BioCube. I didn't want to leave the video without saying something about this, simply because we're giving one away this month. All you got to do is come in and register. You can do it once a day for the 31 days of the month if you want to. It's one coupon per visit, but it is for a giveaway for a BioCube, and it's a complete BioCube. It's not just the tank, it's the rock and sand as well. It does not come with a stand, but it is free. It's about a $400 or $500 value, and we're gonna give you one. So come in, register, and we'll do the drawing on Halloween. Okay, one thing I want to mention real quick before we get to the fish, and we will get right to the fish after this, is Red Sea's new Dip X for corals. If you have corals or you're putting them in a tank, it's good to take them through a dip before you put them in your tank, regardless of where you buy or get your corals from. Basically what this does is this will get rid of any pests or anything that may be hitchhiking on the coral and won't introduce them to your tank. It is very inexpensive. I think Red Sea's got it for $7.99 for a trial bottle. It is an introductory offer, but it is something that every single one of you that has corals need to take them through this process before they go in your tank. Now let's get to the fish. We get asked for them more than any freshwater fish. Dwarf pea puffers, bumblebee puffers. We have them in mass, we have them doing well. If you want a dwarf puffer fish for freshwater, we got them. For you pleco aficionados out there, a Snow King pleco. This is a beautiful pleco that's got some really good size to him that does not carry a big price. Beautiful in both appearance and effective in how he cleans algae. A great pleco if you collect plecos. Orange laser cory cats. This is probably the most ornate cory cat I have ever seen in this hobby. There may be more, but I haven't seen one. These came in at the latter part of last week. I couldn't get them in the video, but they are something else. It's pretty rare that I have a electric blue Jack Dempsey of any size, and we usually sell them pretty quick, but I've got one this week. This was actually tank raised. A customer brought it in that was moving, and I've got a fairly decent size electric blue Jack Dempseys. When they've been in the front of the store, people always ask to buy them, and we've never been able to sell them at this size. So if you want one that's already grown up, colored up, he might even put on a little bit of show as he comes into the light a little bit. The light's just turned on the tank. I think he's gonna come attack the camera. Really cool. Banjo catfish are cool. They blend in a lot with some of the natural gravel in the bottom of the tanks, but they are super beautiful. They are a different kind of flat-bodied catfish that get the name, obviously, because if you turned them sideways, they do look like a banjo. Really cool plate on the top of their body, really cool finnage. They look completely different, and they're not very expensive to have a real conversation piece in your freshwater tank. Another exceptional fish that came in this week. This is the Adonis pleco. You can see on the caudal tail, it is a lyre tail. Very, very beautiful, spotted. The body is really, really dark. The spots are really, really bright. This is a fairly young specimen, but we did get it in. It also is not at a very bad price. We got just one, the Adonis pleco. A lot of cool live bears came in, as well as some American flagfish that came in this week. Lots of swordtails, and I wanted to show some of the varieties and the colors of the swordtails that came in. They came in really thick, very healthy looking, and in mass, as you can see. So I've got actually 2 tanks full of a lot of different varieties of swordtails this week. Come check them out. A beautiful ruby Oscar was brought in by a customer this week. It had outgrown his tank. We got in a nice amount of large cichlids right now, and they've all just come in the last week or over the weekend. So I'm only going to show 1 or 2 in this video, but we've got several, lots of other different Oscars, lots of different colors and sizes and things like that. But this is a beautiful one. If you want a big showy fish that's a pet, almost like a dog or a cat, this is a good one. If you got a big tank and you need a big algae eater, I've got regular common plecos that are very large. Also brought in this week, you can also see the large gold sevrum that's in here. Another one of the large fish that were brought in because of a tank teardown. So if you've been in the market, you need a big fish for your tank or a big algae eater for your tank, I've got them this week. Rounding out into the oddballs this week, I've got a large Polypterus senegalis that came in. This is great because he's a really good size to be a conversation piece, while at the same time he's starting to really show all that adult look that so many of the Polypterus have. So very, very beautiful, very different, very unique, and a nice fit if you've got a unique tank. Osmani rainbows came in looking super this week, even at a young size, young age. They're already starting to show quite a bit of color. So I got a lot of rainbows this week, but the Bosmanis were the standout. So if you've been in the market for them or some rainbows to kind of make that tank look really cool, I've got them. While they are a bit out of season, I do have some small clown loaches that came in toward the end of last week that are both in really, really good shape, very, very active, and really, really nice in color. So if you've been in the market for a bottom-dwelling fish, you have snail issues in a planted tank, clown loaches can really help you out. Okay, I got shrimp this week, finally. We've got fire shrimp back in, we've got cleaner shrimp back in, and finally I have them in mass. So if you've been in the market for them, if you want some shrimp for your tank or a conversation piece for your tank, these are fantastic for that. We got in a lot of clownfish this week, tank raised, and these are some beautiful frostbite clownfish. They're not super expensive, but they've got a lot of different color. No clownfish is the same as another. They've all got their own unique, distinct markings, and they are really, really beautiful. A great size to introduce into your tank. We haven't had target mandarins in a while, so these actually came in with some serious size to them. I have, I think, 2, maybe 3 of them this week. Beautiful, beautiful mandarin dragonettes. Really nice sailfin tangs came in this week in a bunch of different sizes. You all know it's probably one of my top picks for an introductory fish into a new aquarium. You cannot go wrong with a sailfin tang. These are beautiful, beautiful fish, and these came in with beautiful, beautiful markings. Another one of my favorite picks for not necessarily a new tank, but for a reef tank in general, is the squareback anthias. This is just such a great fish because it has so much color. It stays out, very rarely is it spooked, doesn't fight with anything, very little fights with it. It's just a great fish, all in all, and I got 2 of them this week. Foxface rabbitfish in all their forms are beautiful, hardy, and just a great fish. This particular one is the magnificent foxface, probably the hardest of the species to get. I only have 1 this week, but man, does it have some incredible colors. It's just an incredible fish, all in all. I got 2 purple tangs this week. I showed them in last week's video because we hadn't had them in a while. We sold those. I got 2 more in this week, and it is, if you're gonna spend money on a fish, it is one of the hardiest, one of the best fish to do that with. My Thai clowns came in this week. The reason for showing you these is because they are a super colorful clownfish as they age. They get a bright red, almost an electric sheen around their body, and they make for a awesome display clownfish. Every time we put these in our display tanks, people want to buy them out of the tanks. While these are young right now, they will grow and they will get very beautiful. I have a wealth of Indo-Pacific hammers that came in this week. We had a big tank teardown, and so we were able to buy these off of someone who has had them for a very long time. We've got them fairly inexpensive, definitely below market, and I've got them in just about every size you can imagine. So this is just a very small sampling of what came in the way of these branching hammerhead corals. Come check them out. So there is a lot more saltwater coming in. We got a fairly small shipment this Wednesday, but we've got our big shipment that's due in tomorrow. That is Friday, if you're watching the video. And so there'll be a lot more. Watch Facebook for posts and things like that. Come check us out. We've never had a better tank selection this year than what we have right now. And if you're going to do something really nice, like get a stand or canopy built by the end of the year, now is the time to come figure out which one that is, and let's get it on the books. So I wish you a great weekend. God bless, and I'll see you back here next week.